Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Deep Blue Renegade podcast. My name is Molly, also known as the Deep Blue Renegade, and I'd like to welcome you guys to episode 390. Today is Saturday, November 6th, 2021, and I'm glad you can join me today. It is a cloudy, crowdy day here today. But it all works out, so it was very amusing. The crows are not hanging out on their usual haunt, but wandering around, so every so often you're like, oh, crow, random. So, I don't know, not too crazy. Not too many plans today, lots of plans tomorrow, which should be fun. So, I don't know. Or my plans today will involve grocery shopping and cooking a large dinner because I will not feel like cooking dinner tomorrow. As you do. It shouldn't be, I don't know, it should all be very manageable. But whatever. The coffee is hot and delicious. I may have finally found a Ethiopian coffee that is roasted locally that I like. I know, but now that I'm drinking it, it's not as magical. So whatever. I might just be way too picky. Who knows? And then as I was sort of sitting down and making sure everything was in reach, it's like, oh my gosh, I really need to tame some of the chaos in here. Oh, so like the chaos above stays pretty constant. That's not too much, but I don't know. It's just funny how that ends up working out. So I do have a finished object to share this week, which is very exciting. But I'm also a little bit torn at the moment as well. So these are Skew Socks that I have knit out of Three Waters Farm, BFL in the Color Music colorway, and Skew is a Lana Holden pattern that I have knit a couple of times just because it looks so cool. It looks so cool. What would it be? And this is, or what would it be? These would be the toes in the correct orientation. So you end up getting sort of a more smooth thing on this side. This one you can definitely see the little graft because it's in a very different color. This one, coincidentally, the graft ended up being actually a pretty good match to what was going on. They're definitely somewhere between sisters and cousins. For some reason, this one just had much bigger color blocks, so it didn't turn out nearly as stripy. I still like it. It's just a very different look than the finer stripes on this one. But last night I attempted to get both of them on my feet, and it didn't work so good. So would it be? I don't know whether or not that would be like gauge change or if I should sit down and give them a soak and wash and see if that ends up changing anything about it. But this may mean that I'll need to rip back to toe increases and make these guys a little bit bigger. I do have some leftover yarn. I haven't weighed it, but the first stock took like 47 grams, and then I had like 55 left, so there's probably 5 or so grams here. And I also have 40 yards of chain ply that I could use for like the ribbing at the top if need be. So that's why I'm a little bit torn, but I'm not going to immediately do anything right now. It was the case where I was because I had knit a version of it. The last time I knitted, I ended up knitting a version that had bigger stitch count. Just because I sort of, or would it be, I would normally knit a 72 stitch sock straightwise on it, so diagonal wise, that means you end up eating up a decent amount of whatever. It does not turn out nearly as big. So that is my conundrum right now. But they look so good. So good. And they look, they end up looking really cool. I know the color is probably a little cool right now, but you can, it really ends up highlighting the construction of these in which you're like a decent way up the leg before you finish knitting the heel. So yeah, so they're done, but they might not really be done. Because the goal would be to wear them, because I want to figure out if this opposing ply yarn is a good life decision for socks, which it probably is. And I swear I managed to get it onto my foot before, but it was just the case of like, oh my gosh, this is not good. So I might need to, I'll have to see whether or not my other blockers are a little bit bigger. I might try blocking the socks to see if I can make it work. And I will skip weaving in like the final end. I'll skip weaving in the final end in case I do need to rip back to the toes, but that is the agony of the toe-up sock, right? I know, perhaps it's the agony of any sock. Alas, see, I was smart the last time, so I don't know why I was silly this time. Oh well. So I may not mark them done until I can find a way to get them on my feet. They're so pretty. Alas. Oh, that's weird. My internet isn't working. This isn't important for podcasting, but could be relevant. What would be when I try uploading? So I wrapped it up last night, and then I started spinning. But I may not have moved things to be close enough to be convenient, so I'm not going to show you the big ball of yarn, because the big ball of yarn is behind the computer, behind the spinning wheel, and I do not think I can reel it in. But this is my Donner sweater, which is an Elizabeth Daughtry or Blue Bee Studio pattern. And this is actually the way that it would end up being on the body. So there's going to be a straight line that goes from the roughly where my shoulders are centered across. And you can see, I have this on a big enough cable that you can see that there's definitely going to be plenty of positive ease to make that drop. So far, so good. I think I'm knitting the 43-inch size. So that'll end up being 7 inches positive ease. Would it be when we're talking like upper bust? It will be much less for a full bust. I wasn't, or would it be? I wasn't prepared to do the full bust plus recommended ease, because that just seemed like it was going to be sort of crazy. Ooh, I don't want that to be there. But this hasn't ended up receiving a lot of love. I was very focused on finishing the socks this week, so it's probably had like a row or two done on it. is very nice, easy knitting in the grand scheme of things. And it isn't even really in a project bag right now, so I might need to, pull out a project bag and make sure it's just living in it and call it good. Semi-related to that, so something, it's not going to be a roadblock right now, but will be, I believe, a roadblock soon, is I need to buy replacement Xiaogu parts for the parts of my interchangeable set that ended up getting lost. So I think I'm going to pick up 2 more cables and then a set of 5s. And what I'm unsure about is if I want to pick up a set of 3mm that are the same length as the rest of my set. I picked long ones, and that makes them really easy to identify in my bag because the number of slots in my needle, my interchangeable needle organizer, do not account for my favorite needle size. And I am knitting this in my favorite needle size, which is the 3mm US 2.5. So not like it's a big deal or anything. It's just like, oh man, I do really like it. So that's where I'm at. But when I'm doing nothing, I don't remember. But when I'm doing something, like I'm talking to fellow knitters, that's when I remember. So we'll see how it goes. And then would it be? It'd be the case where I haven't wound the yarn yet, but I will be spending some time today to wind yarn for 2 more handspun, at least 2 more handspun hats. I'm going to knit a Fog City for myself, and I already spun the MC for that earlier. Or would it be the whole project has been a would it be a big fluff to stuff thing? And then I haven't decided if I'm going to end up doing Brio Short Hensfield for the other skein of yarn. But I just need to go do it. So because I finished the socks last night, I didn't end up taking the time to do this, but should be good. So actually I have some of the other skein wrapped up in here as well. So you can see the contrast between this one and this one isn't too strong, but this one and this one is much higher. So should make a nice hat. And this is Jacob, and this is the colored parts are merino, and I don't remember what the other stuff is. So should be fun. And I also have like a little merino mini in here, so that's also festive as well. So I don't want to be. Sometimes I wrap the mini in there, sometimes I don't. So I'm gonna wind these and have everything be ready to go to cast on some hats. I'll just have to decide which way I break. Since I do already know what pattern I'm knitting here, this will probably end up going on first, and I'll just need to reference some of my notes. I ended up making the second from the largest size, and that was way too big for me, so I need to decide if I'm going to do the smallest size or the second from the smallest size. There were like 4 sizes in the pattern. So that's the only choice I need to make right now. But this should be fun. It's like an acidy green, a bright blue, black, and then it's marled with this white. As opposed to these guys where it's just sort of naturally heathered. trying to get it to focus. It's like, ignore my face. There we go. So, big contrast there. It looks very contrasty on the screen. So, I just need to get to it with these, and that'll be fun and exciting. And I have fairly high confidence that these will end up being pretty quick projects. The sweater maybe less quick, but I guess I'm still optimistic that I'd be able to finish it before the end of the month. But I say that out loud and now I feel doubt. And what's unclear to me at the moment, I know it's quite possible that what's going to end up happening is I will bang out those two hats really quickly. And then end up solely focusing on the sweater. That is a distinct possibility here. Because, yeah, I don't know. We'll see what ends up happening. It should be fine. It should be a fine project. So, all hand spun all the time around here, which is exciting. I don't know. Yeah, no, I'm really in doubt about what other future projects there's going to be. So this may be a case where I just have to like sit back, chill out, wait for the current crop of things to flesh out, and then I'll sort of maybe have a clearer creative vision about what should happen. I don't know, because it's the other thing that I'm sort of thinking of in the back of my mind was I did a pretty good job of using my heavier hand spun, but I don't know if I'm intimidated by the lace or I just haven't felt like knitting lace, but my lacy hand spun is definitely something that has been sitting fairly long in the stash as well. So, as you do. And so I ended up keeping a promise to myself that I would do some spinning in the virtual makers meetup. So I think last time I had actually finished a ball, so I'd started a new ball last night. What's the hitch? Well, the hitch is still, that's just not all the way attached. So this is my Jenkins Lark that I am spinning a combination of hobbledehoy bat links and an Angora merino bat that I ended up getting from Bungalow Farm, Angora. And what would it be? And I dyed that blurple and then carded it together, and then I realized that it was a very unpleasant combo draft experience. And so then I blended the bat the bat wings and the Angora merino bat together and make a better spinning experience. And it has been better. Mostly it's just been the spinning mojo has been pretty low lately. But I figure if you do a little bit every day, you will make slow and steady progress. Oh, computer got bored. You'll make slow and steady progress and all will be well. So, I don't know, it seems like it was actually going pretty quick, all things considered. I'd be like, wee. So, because I was thinking about sort of what my future travel plans were looking like, and so what would it be? It was like, okay, yeah, no, it's probably good to have this project on the spindle. I do not want to accelerate this project by throwing it on the wheel because I will not be able to take it with me when I travel. So it makes a lot of sense the way it is right now. And here's to hoping there will be a good amount of time to work on it. I can also see the situation where if I am a little bit underknit, there's no way I'm underspun for this project. This project will occupy a great many hours, and that is fine. But whatever. I think part of this also is I don't know. I'll figure something out. It'll be fine. It may, I don't know, like very exciting to be pondering travel knitting, but also would it be also just interesting because it's been so long since I've needed to do it. I don't know. Or would it be? I did end up doing some amount of planning for my last trip, which was in July. But that was a case where I had some pretty big projects. Like I knit most of my weekender then, I believe. So I did have a sweater project. I'm trying to think about what else I was working on then. It wasn't socks. It wasn't another sweater. This is easy to solve by looking and seeing what I had pending at the time. I don't think it was. Probably was a shawl, but no big deal. I don't think it was 2 sweaters. That would be weird for me. I only knit 1 sweater at a time, right? So it's really fun when I run into sort of fun pops of color from the batlings. So that's been a lot of fun to do. But yeah, no, I'm just unhurriedly working on this, making a pretty cup. I don't know, or is it a turtle when you're on a Turkish? Do Turkishes only make turtles? And then I'm trying to be neat about the winding in the hopes that that'll mean that I can get a lot of fiber packed on here. So, would it be? There is a different way that you can end up, or you can also do like an alternating pattern where you get more of a round turtle than a where you can sort of evenly fill it in on both sides. There are some people who swear by the having it the other way. I don't know, or would it be? I think that you would actually get better packing density when you do that, but I'm like not too worried about it. This isn't about most ultimate spindle efficiency. It's just nice to have. So the process has been pleasant. So this is definitely something that's going to come along with me for the Berkeley Knitters potluck tomorrow. So that should be fun and festive. Hopefully water does not fall from the sky. Now we're beginning to actually get to see a little bit of blue skies here, so that's nice. Nope, I just have to maybe devote a little bit of brain space to what food we'll be eating this week. Figure out what else I want to do. Like I have one plan, but I don't necessarily have two plans. I might need slightly more than two plans. I think I need to have like 3 separate things to eat for dinner. But yeah, shouldn't be too crazy. I do not think that I'm going to finish this bit of fiber live on the air today, which is fine. I was like, put 2 hinges in it, gently move stuff around and call it good. So I did want to share something that came in the mail. Next. So, what would it be? I am expecting more mail because what would it be? I'm taking part in a Secret Santa swap, and so after sort of sitting and looking at all my fiber, I realized that it would just be fun to get a little bit more fiber to card up for my swappy. So I picked something that was very much so in their palette, and I'll make a couple of bats between some for them and some for me. And I think that's gonna be a lot of fun. But that hasn't arrived yet. But what did arrive was my base 12 spin along. So I was just like, I knew that it was coming soon because someone had posted. I didn't remember ordering this, but it arrived. So this is, if I could hold things the right way. So this is from Hip Strings, and I was excited to have this like cool canvasy bag, and then I have all of the fiber neatly wrapped in here, and I'm not going to open it until the time comes. But I was also excited to see what it would be. So I had like a fiber sample, a 12-sided die, and also would it be a little twist holder. And the twist holder sort of matches sort of the theme overall, so it would be the case for the inspiration for this year's spin along was a like parallelogram neon and jewel tone quilt. So what it be? So I have instructions in the bag, and then I also have the key for all of the different fibers. And so what's cool about this year is that it's all 75% merino, 25% silk blends, and it'll be a variety of different preparations. Or that's what they do every year. And the spin along starts on the 12th of December. So Jill and Nick do live streams every night where they spin the fiber and hang out on YouTube. So I am really looking forward to participating. I enabled a couple of people into joining, so that should be a lot of fun. And then what it comes with is 12 half-ounce fiber bits. So that should be what it be. So that should be a really nice little project for the end of December. I am anticipating that my December is actually going to be really chill. So we are not traveling for Christmas this year. No one is visiting us for Christmas either. So I'm very much so looking forward to a calm, quiet, cozy little holiday. So I figured that spin along was a really good complement to that whole calm, cozy situation. So should be a lot of fun, but for some reason I had not expected like all of the little extras, so that was a really pleasant surprise when I opened up the bag. And I have no clue if there are more available. But it was like, just like, it was a little challenging to find it when I initially ordered it, but it wasn't like it was a big deal. Like I knew that it was there. So should be good there. And I don't think anything else is. I'm okay with that. That is a-okay in my book. So trying to think. Yeah, no, I think primarily it's just about decreasing the chaos in this room a little bit, because I think that'll make life a little bit easier around here. Not like it's just like a little crazy that is bothering me. And then what it be? And then a fun day tomorrow. So that'll be good. And I'm trying to think. I'll pull up calendar action. So, I believe what's gonna end up going down is the recording schedule will be as normal next week and the week after. Then I'm gonna end up taking a 2-week break. And then end up being back again on the 11th. I don't know. But it's also, I think, somewhat contingent on other things that I'm going to be having going on the weekends. Would it be? So I need to make sure I put those in my calendar. So I know it's going, or would it be? I can only expect that some of the busyness will be ramping up, as like today definitely feels like a November day. I think part of this just has to do with like the light or something like that. And then we will be plunged into darkness because of daylight savings time, so, or the end of daylight savings time, let's put it that way. So, what it be? So, I will be doing this slightly earlier recording schedule for a while, and it's gonna be okay. So far, so good. But yeah, no, lots of excitement on the horizon, but also looking forward to some chill times as well. So, should be good. So, with that, I hope you guys have a lovely week, and I look forward to talking to you guys next week. So, take care, guys. Bye-bye.